Hello everyone, welcome back to my tutorials. Um, in the last tutorial we have already downloaded the GitHub repository, which you can see here, and in this repository I want to show you how you can make changes to this repo. Our editing tool of choice or our editor will be Visual Studio Code, and I really heavily recommend you to also use Visual Studio Code. Obviously, if you're familiar with programming and programming Python and Git, you can also use something different. But if you're new to it, I just recommend you to stick with Visual Studio Code, as I can also support you with this very well. So what you do to install it is just you type in VS Code, and then you go to their website, and you download it here and install it. In my case that would be Windows, but obviously it's also available for Mac OS, Linux, and even 32-bit Windows. So once you have installed it, again, like we're here in the repository, I again just type cmd and type code dot and then this dot. So what this does is it opens Visual Studio Code in the current directory, and yeah, this is then what it's gonna look like. Of course, you can also open the stuff with here open folder, and then you manually type it, but usually that takes quite a bit longer. So over here on the left, you see all the files that are in this repository. And then here you see some extensions. With this extensions tab, you can install new extensions and also edit what kind of extensions you see over here. For example, you can also hide certain extensions or show them. So what I have installed, you can see over here, like you can pause the video and just look at it. For example, what is really handy is the black formatter for Python. Git graph is also very handy. This I really recommend. GitHub Copilot also. If you're a student especially, you can get this for free, and it really helps, especially if you're new to the language. And yeah, I thought I also recommend the Jupyter extensions are very helpful. Yeah, Pylands, Python, the Python extension obviously is crucial. Yeah, and I guess this is pretty much what you will be needing. So I recommend you to install these extensions. For example, then you just type here Python, and in my case, it will already say, okay, it's already installed. But then over here, if you have not installed them, you can just click install, and then it will be done. Okay, so with this, now you have Visual Studio Code set up, you have all the extensions installed, and what we're going to do now is work on our Git, and we want to make like just a small change. So how does this work? Obviously, Git you can use with the terminal. You can also open the terminal in Visual Studio Code like this, and then you over here have the terminal, and there are a lot of terminal commands for Git. For example, I don't know, Git status, and then it shows me over here the status. And all the stuff we're going to do now, you can also do in the terminal, but I will explain to you how you can do this with this extension here for Git in Visual Studio Code, so that you can do all of it graphically with the GUI. Because this seems to be a lot easier for a lot of people, but in my opinion, it's also very handy to know how to do all of this stuff with the terminal. You get a real understanding of it, and there are a lot of YouTube tutorials for it. So I recommend you to just go and maybe if you have some time to go deeper in with the terminal. But for now, you don't need this. This is, first of all, this is the window here, the source control window where you can make your Git commands. First of all, over here with this git graph extension, which I have installed, you can see what kind of commits I already made to this repository. You see quite a few. You can see what kind of branches we had. So like, yeah, you see branches are kind of different roots of the commit history. And um, over here, left in the corner, you can see what branch we are on now, and we are on the main branch. So this is always the protected, like, yeah, main branch. So what I will what we're going to do today is make a minor change and commit this to our graph what's locally. So this main is just our like where we are right now locally on the machine, and then this origin also represents um, the branch on our remote on the server on the GitLab which we have seen over here. So this over here and our local repository, they do not necessarily have to be in sync. So I can change stuff here. Obviously, I just changed files. It's not automatically updated. So I can work completely offline, and then with a push or a pull, for example, I can synchronize my local copy with the copy that is on the server here. So for now, we just want to do like a minor change, and to do this, usually I said we are on the main branch now, and we do this changes we do on a different branch. So we do feature branches. So for example, if I want to introduce a new feature, I don't know, I program, I don't know, a new neural network that has not been there before, then I say, for example, my feature branch would be um, multi-layer perceptron, whatever, and then I develop it over there. And once it's fully developed, I push it to the main branch. In that way, I have on the main branch is always code that is production ready that I can just use where there will be no bugs. And on my feature branch, I can develop my feature until it's finished. And then once my feature is finished, it runs all tests successfully. Then I just push it to the or merge it with the main branch. So this is what we're going to do now. We are first going to create a new branch. And for this, I'll just click over here in the bottom and here create new branch. I give it a branch name, and our new feature that we are going to do now is just some changes on the README file. So our feature branch is going to be called update README. And we are gonna create it. So now you can see over here we are not on the main branch anymore, but we are on the update README branch now. And this is what I recommend you to also do. If you're new to this whole concept of Git, it might also be suitable to just create a development branch. For example, saying, I don't know, for me, this would be development Jonas, that I have my separate branch where I can develop independently, and then later, once I have some new features, merge these features to the main branch. Okay, so as I said, we are on the main branch now. We are on the update README branch now, and now we might want to do some update here to the README. Here, for example, it says, okay, to do, we have to clear up pipelines and think about our transformations, but this is not labeled what this means. And here I might give this a new header and say this is to-dos. And I'll save it. So what happens now? Now, if I look at the source control, I can see that over here I have the README file and it has this M, meaning M means modified. And if I look over here on my file explorer, I also see, oh, I modified the README. What I can do now is I can press over here and in the source control, and I can see what modifications have I done. So over here I see, okay, previously from our last commit there was nothing, and I have now added 2 lines, one with the to do and one space. Um, so what I can do now is stage this change and put this to the staging area. This is by clicking the plus. So now my change is staged in the staging area, and everything that is in the staging area I can now put into a commit. So this is very easy. I just say, what did I do? Um, I added header or heading to do. So now I can commit this, and now I'm up to date again, and you see over here nothing is modified anymore, and this has been committed. And if you now look at the commit history, you see that over here we have a new branch, update readme, and it has this commit edit heading to do. So, but now this has only been locally, and this branch does not exist yet on the remote, on the server. So what we can just gonna do is publish this branch. This might take some time now. And if I now update here on our page, then I can already see, okay, it tells me I have this new branch, but like let's just close this. Maybe sometimes this doesn't pop up. Then you can also see here, okay, I have a few branches, this Aufräumen branch and this update readme branch and the main branch. If I now go to the update readme branch, I can again see over here what has changed, and over here I see, oh yeah, this heading in the readme, it is there. So what we're going to do now is we also want to merge our new branch to the main branch, and for this it is like a little bit short now here, but this just has to do with my with the low resolution of this screen I'm recording on. We can now, for example, also watch the graph here um, here on our on the server, and we see here we have the update readme branch, which is ahead of the main branch. And what we can do now is in our repository we have somewhere the merge requests, and we can now create a new merge request. And now what we want to do is we want to merge our update readme branch with the main branch. So we can just compare the branches and continue. Okay, this has already the title because we see what kind of commits were made. We could now describe this, assign it to somebody, and yeah, review it. But this kind of stuff, yeah, we do not really need. And now what we can do is, yeah, create the merge request. So we've created a merge request, and now what I can do is merge this here. This like it might for you not be allowed to merge the branches because the main branch is the source branch, which is protected, so you need like the highest access rights. So if this is my repository, only I have the access rights to this, but for example, if you were developing in your own repository, you might also have the correct access rights. So I'm just going to merge it, and tada, it is merged. So if I now go back to our main branch here in the repository, I can see that the to-dos is also now in the main branch. And if I look now at the graph, you see here we only have the main branch left. This to-do, this update readme branch I just deleted. So now if we go back to our Visual Studio Code, we can just here refresh everything, or it already has been refreshed, and we see what has happened here. But we are now still on the fatal couldn't find the remote, so the branch does not exist anymore. So what we now do is go back to the main branch. Now we have to sync the changes. And now you see over here, we are again up to date and up again to the main branch. And now, for example, we could add new features or do new stuff. So to understand the whole concept of commits and push and pull of the stuff, I would also recommend you to maybe watch a Git tutorial, but with this you should be good to go, and with this stuff you can already work in the repository. Okay, so then I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye bye.